If I ever become a parent, I'm not gonna censor much. If my child questions me, Dad, where do babies come from?
The vagina.
Oh. I'm gonna be honest. Is he hurt from that? No. If anything, he's now smarter than the kid that got lied to.
Hello again, everybody. Today, I've decided to do another reaction video. And this time, I'm gonna be reacting to DASHCAM Stories 153 by Wham Bam DASHCAM. I have been watching Wham Bam DASHCAM since late last year, and I have always enjoyed everything about them, including the Honda bomb moments. But yeah, I'm gonna play this video in 3, 2, 1.
Every week, our fans send us their dashcam videos, and we pick the top 20 to share here on Wham Bam Dashcam. Hold on to your handlebars. We'll kick things off this week with Jeremy's footage. While he was driving into a glaring evening sun, he suddenly plowed into a huge pile of dirt that had been dropped in the middle of his lane.
Wow.
Jeremy told us the dirt pile had been left in the road by a homeowner who he described as a total Karen. And after he wrecked the front of his car running it over, she told him she was going to call a lawyer. She then called the police, but Jeremy just showed them his dashcam footage when they arrived. Once they'd seen what had happened, they chose not to give him any citations. When he took his Mercedes C63 to a body shop, they quoted $14,000 US to repair the damage. After that, his insurance provider totaled the car. Jeremy couldn't believe that the homeowner was more worried about her pile of dirt than she was about the safety of someone who'd crashed into it. He also wanted to shout out his sons Tyler, Justin, and Hayden. Billy watched an oncoming pickup wipe out on a Kentucky highway.
Whoa.
Billy didn't tell us why this happened, but he did go back to see if the driver was okay after the pickup went off the road into the median before overcorrecting and rolling over.
Oh my God.
First responders transported the pickup driver to a hospital to get checked out, while Billy gave a statement and a copy of his dashcam footage to the police. Jacob was on his way home when a pickup truck ahead of him suddenly lost its spare tire after driving across some train tracks.
Oh no. Oh no. No. Okay.
Thankfully, the wild tire wasn't struck by any other motorists, and Jacob confirmed that the pickup driver did turn around to wrangle his runaway wheel. Jacob watches every episode of Wham Bam Dashcam and Wham Bam Tesla Cam with his father. If Wham Bam is a part of your family routine, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Brian was on his way home from work when a car cut through the backed up traffic in the right lane and turned right in front of Brian's Chevy Colorado. With his view of the car blocked by traffic, Brian had no opportunity to react before T-boning the turning Honda. The collision totaled his pickup, and the police found the Honda driver responsible after watching this footage. Even so, the insurance claim took 2 years to settle after the Honda driver claimed he'd been pulling out cautiously, so Brian must have been speeding. Thankfully, his dashcam had captured the truth. Dylan was driving through Fort Thomas, Kentucky, when he encountered a driver who'd misunderstood which side of some cones they were supposed to be on before plunging into wet pavement.
I think that's the driver.
Thankfully, Dylan told us nobody was injured, but the car had to be towed out of the wet pavement. Pay attention, folks. This driver missed several fairly obvious warning signs before making this expensive mistake.
Second, you're driving.
Christine was headed home from her sister's house when a deer suddenly ran across the road in front of her.
Oh no.
Christine slammed on her brakes and swerved, successfully avoiding a collision with the wandering whitetail. Oncoming drivers slowed down after witnessing her evasive maneuver, and everyone continued on their way. This submitter watched an SUV driver sideswipe a flatbed trailer while both vehicles were turning left onto a highway on-ramp. Our submitter pointed out that oncoming traffic had backed up and multiple drivers had left their vehicles sticking into the intersection. When the SUV driver tried to go around one, she invaded the other lane, causing the collision. Both drivers pulled over, and our submitter followed and called 911. Thankfully, nobody was injured. He wanted to remind our viewers to be patient and leave truckers extra room during turns.
Exactly!
Karen and Mike were waiting patiently at a traffic light when they watched the driver of an oncoming minivan lose their patience before getting served a helping of instant justice. Light bar and all, the sheriff's deputy instantly lit up the party lights and took off after the clueless driver for a little chat. When we told you to hold onto your handlebars in the intro, we weren't kidding. Dante was riding his e-bike with some friends when they watched a Honda driver T-bone a passing car in the oncoming lane.
That one. Oh, yeah, that one.
Dante and his friends stopped to check on the drivers involved, and Dante even returned one of their license plates. He told us police responded, but thankfully nobody was injured. Dante told us he's been watching Wham Bam videos since 2021. Did you know Wham Bam Tesla Cam has 300 episodes now? We'll put a link to the newest one at the end of this video in case you haven't seen it. Davin was on his way to work when one of his rear tires suddenly ruptured, sending his Subaru Forester nearly out of control.
No. Oh no. Oh no.
After almost striking the median barrier, Davin pulled safely to the breakdown lane before calling his father. Oh, we forgot to mention that he'd been doing some suspension work on his Subaru and his spare tire was at his dad's house. So was his jack, and his dad had to bring both so Davin could get back on the road. By the way, this is his second time being featured on our channel. We'll put a link to the previous episode he was in at the end of this one. Brandon was on his way home on his birthday when traffic ahead began slowing down for a construction zone. He had no trouble reacting to the slowdown, but the driver of the Chevy SUV behind him wasn't paying attention.
Oh, no.
The SUV that rear-ended Brandon's Honda Passport was occupied by the driver and her two daughters. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but the Chevy was totaled by the impact, while Brandon's Honda needed $8,000 in repairs. Brandon told us the whole ordeal was one big birthday present he never wanted. Thankfully, his own insurance provider had his vehicle fixed in about a month after it turned out the SUV wasn't registered or insured. In case you're wondering, yes, it's illegal to drive a vehicle without registration or insurance, and yes, people do it anyway. That's exactly why Brandon has uninsured motorist coverage, and in this case, it definitely paid off. Steve was headed home from a high school when he encountered another Tesla behaving badly as he proceeded into a three-way intersection.
That Tesla man can't
What's gonna happen next?
That Tesla man can't drive.
A Model 3 blew through the stop sign to Steve's right, nearly hitting the Volvo XC90 he's planning to trade in for a new Model Y in a couple of weeks. Steve also owns a Model 3, and he thinks this Tesla driver must have thought autopilot would stop for the stop sign. Something full self-driving will do, but basic autopilot will not. Rish's father was on his way to work when he watched a Prius up ahead go off the road and up an embankment before rolling onto its side.
Oh, there's the Prius.
It looks like the Prius driver ignored the bend in the road, instead hopping a curb to go up the hill sideways before rolling into the side of an Audi SUV. Thankfully, nobody was harmed in the collision. Rish's father thinks the Prius driver was distracted, but there's also the possibility of a mechanical failure of some kind. What do you think happened? Connie was on her way to work a night shift one rainy afternoon when a clueless pickup driver suddenly drove across all lanes and cut in front of her without warning or turn signal.
Oh, no.
Connie swerved around the pickup rather than braking, which could have ended in disaster given the wet road conditions. Thankfully, the left turn lane was empty, giving her room to go around the truck while honking. Connie told us Wham Bam DASHCAM inspired her to get her DASHCAM. If you need one for your ride, grab a discount on one of the ones our team uses in our own vehicles using the coupon codes in the description. Kay was coming to a stop for a red light when she watched the driver of a pickup truck run the light before getting T-boned by cross traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Conveniently, a fire
What were
engine
you
was waiting in
thinking?
traffic on the other side of the intersection, and the driver immediately turned on the party lights and blocked the intersection. Kay provided responding police with a copy of her footage. She told us she installed the dash cam we recommend after witnessing multiple red light collisions. Thankfully, at
Yeah,
least in this
this
one, she
was
said
one
it
of
didn't look
them.
like anyone was seriously injured. Trevor was on his way home from work when he encountered a tank on the highway. No, not a battle tank, a tank for storing and transporting liquids. As soon as
Okay.
he noticed it, he pulled into the center turn lane and stopped.
Oh. That. How did
He
it
then
get
carefully
there?
made his way to the tank before dragging it up onto the sidewalk and as far off the road as he could get it. Before he had a chance to report the tank, he noticed a flatbed truck turning around to retrieve it. Trevor helped the
Okay.
driver load the tank onto his truck. When he offered to help the driver secure it so it wouldn't fall off again, the driver declined his help. Trevor then got back in his own pickup and headed home.
Well, yeah.
Amy was on her way home
Trevor's
from
a-
work when the driver of an
well,
SUV suddenly swerved into her lane to avoid
you know.
rear-ending another SUV that was coming to an unexpected stop in the middle of the highway.
Oh god. Yeah, you messed up. You're
The
getting
swerving
away!
SUV collided with Amy's Toyota Highlander, sending it into the breakdown lane, but when she swerved to avoid a safety barrier that had fallen into the lane, she lost control and hit the guardrail. The driver that had hit Amy pulled over and admitted fault. After police responded and made a report, her
Pinchy
Highlander had to be
pin
towed
did
away and was later totaled. Thankfully, the other driver's insurance provider paid to replace it. Junior was
Okay,
driving
good.
down a road in West Palm Beach when an SUV driver suddenly cut across all lanes, forcing him to swerve to avoid a collision. Junior honked while swerving, barely avoiding hitting the SUV with his Toyota Corolla. When he stopped and put his window down to confront the other driver, he says she acted like she didn't know what he was talking about. Tara had noticed the
Wow.
driver of a Jeep in the passing lane drifting around a bit, prompting her to keep her distance. When traffic ahead slowed down, she noticed the Jeep driver wasn't following suit.
And did you drive in a car? You hit our
When the Jeep driver finally noticed the
Technically-
slowdown, they swerved to avoid a rear-end collision, but sideswiped the Prius ahead of Tara instead.
Okay, yes,
Tara
they
followed
did.
both drivers to the shoulder and offered them her dashcam footage. She said she watched the drivers exchange information before driving away. Her whole family loves our channel, including her kids Aubrey, Tyler, and Benjamin. Now that's a Wham Bam fam.
I was
Andrew
just
and his
gonna
wife
say
Micah
that.
were driving in Iowa when they stopped for 56 Canadian geese crossing the road. Thankfully, all
many?
other drivers also yielded, and not a single foreign feather was ruffled. Don't forget to watch this episode featuring Davin's previous submission when he came within inches of hitting an Impala cutting through a gap in traffic. Or
Have I
go watch
watched
the
that before?
300th episode.
That was unsurprisingly insane. But what do you expect from Wham Bam videos? But yeah, if you like these reaction videos, I will definitely do more in the future. If you would like to, like, comment, subscribe, and maybe share this video with others. With that being said,